Time is, what time is it? It is 7:02 in the morning on a Wednesday. I'm at Starbucks having coffee. Got my hair back today. Looks nice. Really liking the laid-back style. It seems so chill and feng shui. I love it. I'm just watching the ravens or the crows fly overhead. That's one thing I do admire most about California. There's an abundance of crows. Like, an abundance of crows. And if you know anything about me and my earthbound philosophies and beliefs and things like that, that's like being in a constant safety net. They say that the Odin's ravens will watch over you. So I just feel beautiful. And before I came out here, I was walking down the street, out here like to Fresno, and I was I actually found a feather. I found a crow's feather. It was huge. And I was like, that's what I signed, because about a year and a half prior, I said if I could ever find a feather, I was looking at feathers online, and I was like, if I could ever find a feather, I would take that as a sign. So I found my feather. I took it as a sign. So now I see crows everywhere I go, and I love it. But I was just making this video because I feel good. It's a nice morning, and I was thinking about my hair. And I kind of like it, kind of very chill, There was actually something else I was thinking about, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I don't really remember. Talking about the gym, but about a home workout. I know, right? Like a home workout routine. Because I was thinking like, oh yeah, my hair looks all back. Like I should take like kung fu. And it's like, nah, I wouldn't even join a gym membership. I would rather do a home workout for free weights, maybe a treadmill, one of those little step things, a yoga mat, that kind of stuff. That's my kind of atmosphere because I just like the home stasis of it all. That's what I was thinking about. Like, yeah, that'd be sweet, Like, just get like a punching bag and some free weights. Right. That's all. That's really what the whole reason we started this video is about. So today I'm at Starbucks. I'm going to sit around, play some Magic the Gathering on my phone. I got to go to the store, get some ramen noodles today, all of that. It's a real chill day. I actually ate a squash for breakfast. It was a whole squash, and it was actually really delicious. And as I'm eating it, I'm like, man, this is actually really good. And I thought about it like, oh, it's not cooked out, it's raw. It was so juicy. Like, juice was just literally pouring out of this thing. And I'm eating it, a little barbecue sauce, and it was delicious. And I'm like, I have no problem having a raw food diet. Like, just for the fact that I was thinking about how it still retains a lot of its nutrients and anything like that, most foods lose, for the sake of taste and flavor, they lose a lot of their nutrients and things like that in the cook-off method, in the water it's cooked in or in the oil it's cooked in or however, so on and so forth. So it felt like a really nourishing kind of meal. And as I'm eating it, it actually felt really good and well-being and things like that. And a little bit respect towards mindfulness. It felt the same way with the coffee I'm drinking. I'm having this huge debate because it's like, I would like a grande coffee. A smaller coffee is cheaper, but I wanted the grande coffee. They offer free refills, but I wanted the grande coffee. And you would think about the aspect of limitless coffee versus the coffee standard that you want. I could get a grande coffee, and I could get unlimited refills on a grande coffee. Or I could get a small coffee, and I can get unlimited refills on a small coffee. But there's no difference in the amount of coffee that I consume, whether it's 5 increments of, 16 ounces or 20 increments of 8 ounces. But I didn't realize I drink a lot of coffee. So today I have a small coffee mug, nice little cute coffee mug, and I'm thinking like, that's not gonna be enough coffee, that's not, I drink it. And I'm like, that's kind of a lot of coffee. Before all this stuff, when I did have my own living space, at most I could drink coffee all day, but I would only drink it by the cup. So at most, I'd probably only have like 6 cups of coffee. So then I realized me getting a grande coffee that also refills it, at any point, once I hit about 3, I literally drank my entire day's consumption of coffee in a matter of a couple of hours. Where in a home space, I'd probably only have 1 or 2 cups of coffee, maybe 3 at most, for the whole day. I mean, don't get me wrong, if it's game day, if I'm gaming on PlayStation, if I'm playing Magic, like a serious Magic day, I'll have coffee periodically throughout the day. But like, me being at Starbucks, I feel like this just opens me up to just an excess amount of coffee. There have been days where I've come in, hold on. There have been days where I've come in and from doors unlocked to doors closed have drank an insane amount of coffee. So as I'm pouring my coffee and looking at my coffee cup and making the size comparison, I'm thinking about the Starbucks employees and I'm like, why'd you guys let me drink so much coffee? I didn't say that because their immediate response and thought would be, you drink as much coffee as you want. How is that our fault? And it's like, okay, you're right. So I have to kind of like self-regulate myself on coffee, or get like a miniature drill sergeant to be like, no more coffee for you, because the small ones always have the most attitude. No more coffee for you, we're valid. And it's like, okay. So I'm just having a really good day, honestly. I decided like 2:30, 3 o'clock this morning. I woke up at like 2. I slept for a good hour. Took a nice little walk. I found a nice little scenic park area that I like. Kind of really feng shui, kind of hang out there. Really well-being and self-embodiment ideas. You know, I like it. But I was thinking about cars and stuff, and it's like, I don't like fancy cars. You don't? I don't like fancy cars. Maybe it's just not my style. But personally, I don't like fancy cars. I know this one girl, she has kind of a nice-looking car, and I don't like it. Really? Not really. I think it's flashy. I think it's an overcompensating. It just seems stupid. I mean, yeah, she probably likes it. That's her. It's always why you see like small girls that drive big ass pickup trucks. It's like, look, we know you have an inferiority complex based around your size, but hey, you look kind of silly in that car. It's fine though. And it's like, would you drive it? That's not my car. My type of car is kind of sleek, kind of chill, kind of like that BMW right there. That's a nice BMW. Can you see it? Boom. Yeah. That's my kind of thing. Something sleek, something chill, something that could go super fast but doesn't. My first car was a Lumina, but the car that I first got was a 2004 Ford Taurus. Yeah. People are crying, saying, we know, yeah, but it was a great car. It was a road devil. It was mean, because it was great. And like, it couldn't go as fast as other cars, but here's the thing. I still took that car for what it was good. I was going down the freeway at 150, like, yeah, it was a good thing. So I feel I'll just make a casual video because I really ain't got nothing to do, and it's kind of good. The weather's not terrible. The holidays are coming up. That's about it. I really should get into some TV shows. Shows that I want to watch. I'm all pro HBO Max. I tried Hulu. I don't like it. I had Netflix. It's good for hit and miss stuff, but I don't like the structure of it. I like HBO Max. It's got Game of Thrones in there, which I haven't finished, but I'm all about the genre. I'm all about the theme. Dungeons, lore, dragons, knights, fairy tales, fantasy, stories, epic adventures. That's all me, including my game content, RPGs and things like that. That's all me. So that's something I really want to get into, but it's got like 13 seasons. I rarely watch TV series. One, because I don't. It has to be an interesting plot for me to sit down. Like there's a few series I started, got kind of into it, but it wasn't enough to stick. But if I'm into a TV series, I'm binging it, especially if I have enough time. You know, I think the last 5 TV series that I finished, the last 5 would be the Looney Tunes, Redwall, The Office, The Good Place. And I'm not counting anime series, but like maybe like 3 or 4 anime series to finish that last big one. But I'm not like super big on TV series. Same for movies. The last movie I seen was like the fourth Matrix installation. I think I watched that on HBO Max or Hulu. I used to have Hulu. I started off with Netflix, I tried it. I started off with Hulu, I tried it, and then I was settled on Max, and I like Max. But the last movie I watched was John Wick 1. I had all 3 on DVD, but I only watched the first one, so I still had to watch the other 2. Prior to that, it was the 4th Matrix. I love the Matrix, I've seen them all, including the Animatrix installment. Because I'm all about those kind of movies. You know, I like that sci-fi movies. The Matrix trilogies are in my favorite movie genres. The Chronicles of Riddick and Pitch Black. Vin Diesel in those roles Richard B. Riddick is one of my favorite movie characters. When it comes to Fast and the Furious, I don't really give a shit. I watched Godzilla like a year and a half ago. That was a good movie. I'm very selective on movies, you know. A lot of fantasy movies. I don't like going to the movie theater. The last 3 movies I seen in a movie theater were One Piece movie, Gold, the Gundam Unicorn movie, and then before that, I don't even remember. The only movie I kind of want to see is Inside Out 2, because I seen Inside Out 1 and I thought that movie was the shit, so I would love to see Inside Out 2. I know Wicked's coming up in a couple days. I really don't give a fuck. Right, I don't fucking care about that shit. It seemed interesting, but then I was like, yeah, but it's kind of just doing the story point of how, you know, a good person became a bad witch, and it's like, that doesn't sound entertaining at all. It's not even like this anti-hero kind of story. It's just like, right, we all know how the Wizard of Oz turned out. Her life, like, she's gonna melt, unless it's one of those movies that don't relate to the actual movie itself. But it's like, I'm not really big on going to go see box office hits like that. There's never been a movie where I myself am like, I need to go see that movie right now. I don't really care as much. If there's a movie I really want to see, I'll just hold on to it until I get a chance to see it. Like I say, John Wick 1, 2, and 3, those movies have been out for a while. You're more likely to catch me at a DVD store just trying to see if I find it on the shelf. Like, ooh, yeah, nice. I'm all about DVDs, right? I love DVDs. From just having the collection of movies and just having that physical box and all that. Maybe it's because I was born in the 90s, and because of that, a lot of stuff I really can't get into modern days. I'm not going to say I'm old-fashioned, but, I would rather prefer things to stay if it was still 2006. Right. It's true. So, So I'm just rambling off at the mouth. Starbucks is picking up here. A lot of people getting their coffee. I imagine people waking up all around the city, people setting their alarms, waking up at like 7 o'clock in the morning and rushing to the nearest Starbucks. So yeah, it feels like a normal day, but I think the shop closes up extra early, which isn't terrible. And I still got tomorrow off, and I just get out of here early, go home, and just go to sleep, and then wake up and just try to preoccupy myself.
Coffee, I'm trying to get rid of this. They made it wrong, and then they don't. So I'm trying to give it to somebody out here.
Sure, just set it right there.
It's a gingerbread chai, but it has extra syrup in it, so.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'm just gonna throw it away.
Okay. So, my mom just gave me a free coffee. I don't know if I'm gonna drink it. I mean, I might. I don't know. I probably won't. I might. I don't. You're like, why? Because you feel like, because she put her lips on it. Really? I mean, kind of. You're like, that's the same as kissing somebody. It's not the same. Really? I could walk up to a random group of people who are smoking a blunt, and they'll pass me a blunt, and I'll hit the blunt. That's one thing. Or somebody could walk up if I really want a cigarette, or if I'm smoking a cigar or something, and someone's like, can I get a hit of that? That's two. But a cup of coffee, it's like, I don't know if I should drink that or not. Even if she just took a sip, it's like, I have this weird little aspect about mixing frequencies with people and mixing things like that through the small interconnections of doing stuff like that, especially on a physical level. Like, even just the sip of it, it's like, I think we just crossed DNA. Like, my soul is now entwined. And it's like, oh. So it's like, do I really want to take on that woman's vibrance and that tiny, tiny sip she had on the coffee? Right. And that weird interconnected weavery of ebb and flow in life? Probably. I don't know. You ever kiss a stranger? I have kissed a stranger. I've gone out to bars and kissed a stranger all the time, but it's not the same, really. It has a weird mental boundary of clarity that I just can't wrap my mind around when it comes to just drinking after somebody, Even though when I was in high school, at one point, if I knew a girl and she's like, do I have any gum? And I was like, do you have any gum? And she's like, no. And she was chewing a piece. I was like, give me that one. She's like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah. So she spit it in my hand and I ate it. Why? Because it was a conscious decision. Like if I saw that woman drinking a coffee and I really wanted a sip, I would go up and I would drink that coffee and I'd be like, hey, can I get a sip? And if she let me drink from it, I would, because I felt comfortable having a sip of that coffee. But like, I don't know. I generally just don't know. Like, any of those workers in Starbucks could probably do the same thing, and I'd probably be like, oh yeah, sure. But for the fact that she's a complete stranger and she's like, I'm just looking for someone to have this coffee, it's like, I don't know. Like, are you gonna try it? I'll try it, but I don't know if I'll drink it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll try it, but I don't know if I'll drink the whole thing, because I have my own coffee. I got my own little coffee right here. But I don't know. I have to look at it and see if her lips were on it. I do that. I'll look at it and I'll inspect it and all of that. But I don't know if I'll drink it. That's like my debate in the morning. Like, it's weird. Well, I think Jessica's here. She is I don't know what she is, but she's like the newest little elf of Starbucks. She's so happy about her job. That's always good. She's always smiling. Sometimes it freaks people out. It's like, why are you so happy? And it's like, she can be happy, but at least people are. Some people go to work miserable and they're like, I don't want to be here. It's like, why'd you even show up? So see if I can just make a good impression. I never say good morning to people. Really, I'm not a morning person. Last time I said good morning, someone was like, what's so fucking good about it? And I'm like, bro, it's just kind of a gesture. Especially when you work with people and things like that. You just have like this situational concept of just greeting people and wishing them a good day. I've been in situations where it has offended people, where they get mad and they're like, why are you wishing me a good morning? Da, 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 da. Morning, Jessica. How you doing? Good. How's it? Oh yeah. That's my day. How long have I done this? 14 minutes. I think that'll work. I think the music's turning up at Starbucks. It's starting to get a little lively. The sun is barely creeping over Tahoe Joe's. I think Tahoe Joe's has terrible steaks. I do. But I kind of got to poop. So I don't know if I'm gonna be out here too much longer because I really gotta go to the bathroom. So this was just my update. If you ain't got shit to do, come sit, have a coffee with me. I ain't really got shit to say, but maybe we can find something to talk about. And you know what? We can stir in some sugars as I stir in some intellect on your mind. But no, my hair, it's pretty cool, right? I like it this way. It is. It's my back casual. It's nice as shit. I don't want to do any studying today. I'm trying to have a chill day. I feel like all of my stuff I've been posting have been like videos, and all my videos are like relationships. Like, oh, casual and cool, you know? What kind of heroes do you like? My favorite Marvel hero is Blade. I know, the vampire. I found out, I've liked him since I was a childhood with the Blade movies, another one of my favorite movie trilogies. And then I found out he was a Marvel hero, and I felt a little bit accepted because for the longest time, I never had a favorite superhero. I didn't. Spider-Man, Captain America, the Hulk, Iron Man, never gave a fuck about none of them. And I'm like, man, but Blade is a Marvel hero, and I'm like, sweet, I'm in. So I also watched the television series on that, The House of Cthulhu. That's a pretty interesting series. Even though they didn't have Wesley Snipes play the original Blade in it because he didn't want to do it because of the box office promotions and they didn't want to pay him enough. Overall, it was still relatively good for the vampire theme of it, but it just didn't have the same weight as Blade. Another favorite actor I like is Anthony Hopkins. He's another one of my favorite actors. Wesley Snipes, Anthony Hopkins. I like Will Smith as an actor. I and I like him also as a musician. The one album that I want to get is, I don't know the name of it, but it was Frequency in like Hitch album. It's like if I look it up, I can find it, but I want to get one of his albums, you know. I like his kind of new age, but still kind of almost like 90s kind of like funk, and you can get down to it, you know. Like he was like, what about like classic music, you know, like classic rock and oldies? I think oldies are romantic, you know, that you are my love on the sultry walking with you, moonlight dreams on the river. But I like that kind of stuff, but it's so dreamy and airy-fairy, you know. But also like my heavy metal and screamos, but like classic rocks, like those really, people are like all about Sublime and, you know, fucking Nirvana, AC/DC, like classic rocks, Zeppelin, things like that. I mean, I call it a music appreciation, but it was never my staple. My staple in music really doesn't have a staple because I grew up in a predominantly hip-hop background because I'm black. So that's kind of be expected. And it's only in high school I began to branch out with music diversity, getting into like heavy metal and screamo. And as I developed that kind of taste, I got into like instrumentals and things like that. So I really do have this like diversified music field. But there's some random arbitrary things in music that I'm into, like Nickelback. I kind of like Nickelback a little bit. I don't claim it, but I like them a little bit. I like A Perfect Circle. People say they sound just like Tool. Everybody says that. I like A Perfect Circle, though. From First to Last is my favorite. Was one of my favorite staple bands when I was like 17. Greeley Estates, another post-hardcore screamo band, like those guys too. Jazz and stuff, I like instrumentals. So I do like a variety of music, but I feel like music has such an impact and impression on our character. So it really is about me having a mindset. Like if I'm going to listen to jazz, I'm going to do it alone. I must be in a contemplative mood. I'll do it with a coffee or maybe a dark drink in a double shot glass straight with maybe a little tint of cola and just kind of sit and listen to that one, you know? If I'm feeling more lightly inclined, maybe I'm drinking some tea, I got some incense on, I got a nice buzz, I got some instrumentals going, and I'm kind of feng shui and just letting all my mentality air out across the room so I feel like I'm living in my own aura kind of shit. If I'm doing heavy metal, I'm probably thinking, I'm probably brooding, but I probably got headphones on, so I'm probably just not feeling like very social, and I'm just powering in my own head. You know, stuff like that. Sometimes I always sit and think I should listen to more positive music, but it's really hard for me to embrace and idealize what positive music is, you know? Right. But even like gospels and stuff I'm into, or like hip hop and stuff, depending on who the artist is I'm into. Like Kanye West, I do appreciate his music style, his R&B, things like that. Rap styles, I mean, Designer's probably like my favorite rap stylist with the mumble rap. I don't really get into a lot of hip-hop rap, but I do like a lot of bass, and I do have a few select playlist albums and artists that I'm into, like Big Sean and Kendrick Lamar, Will Smith, Designer. That's about it. Like, I don't like Kevin Gates. I don't like a lot of crude, vulgar rap, but I do sometimes. So like Plies, Yeah, if you know who Plies is, you know Plies is kind of like, So it's like, I do like stuff like that, but it just really depends on my mood and stuff, so that's all. I always feel like I'm so diversified around the boards. Like, it's really hard to get a specific taste for my flavor. My favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip. My favorite letter is R. My favorite number is 2. My favorite color is red. I like my height. I wouldn't want to be any taller. I like my weight. I don't ever want to gain weight and get fat, but I don't ever also want to be bulky. I would like to be physically stronger, but I wouldn't like to have that represented as being physically bigger, you know? So, I think I'm just rambling off at the guns right now, you know? Oh, I don't like guns. I don't. I like them as like an art piece, but personally, I don't really have a wanting to ever own a firearm, you know? Like, that's just how I am. I know some people are like, we love guns, like a collector's item, and it's like, nah, I don't really need to debate on it, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'll pass. I don't really care about that. Cats or dogs. I would like a dog. I've had cats. I've had hermit crabs. I've had birds. You know, I would really like a tortoise, but I feel like I should get a dog because I just feel so companion bound, right? And there's something structured about being able to tell an animal to sit, roll over, to have it trained, and, you know, take that into other considerations of having that aspect of obedience in some reflection of my life and expression. So that's cool too. How do I plan on spending my free time? Well, I know I'm going down this whole aspect of getting my own place, but really is I'm just chill. I like to work on my mind and body and all of that, but I'm throwing all the other stuff in the backdrop and trying to focus on the clarity of me in the now. So really, I just never really did anything. I'm always working all the time. So when I'm at home, I really do like to chill. That's it, you know. Yeah. Oh, electric guitar. I got my first guitar at 18. I actually can play pretty good guitar. Inspirations was Hendrix. I used to listen to a lot of Hendrix. I just like his free flow. I like how authentic he is and kind of just running up the mill with whatever goes. So Hendrix, that's a big style that I've gotten into. As far as just like working on my technique, beforehand it was pretty much just like drop D grunge, rocking in chords and other rock bands I like is Mushroom Head, throwing it out there. Marilyn Manson, Korn. I don't really like Evanescence. I like Kidney Thieves. OTEP isn't a band that I was personally in. It was not something that I invested in. It was more introduced to me. I have 2 minutes left on this video here. I've done community service in the past at a botanical garden. I know, is that even counts as community service and just sit around planting flowers and trees? I generally stay out of trouble. Most endeavors that come to me, I usually end up almost in a victimizing situation, so I've never actually went to jail. But I have spent time behind bars, but usually it's for separation anxiety because I end up getting a lot of crazy people in my life, and there's always this thing that keeps it crazy away. But I've never actually done anything to be considered a criminal by default. Even though you would look at me and think, I just gotta stay out of trouble. I get myself into trouble sometimes. I'm better off just going to work and staying home. I really am. So, other than that, life is good. The coffee house is popping today. So, I got 1 minute left, roughly 1 minute, and I still gotta go to the bathroom. Anything else? Top 5 things I want to do before I don't know, die or get old. I want to travel maybe to Japan one more time, even if it's just a touristy thing. I want to see the ocean, but I'm in California, so that's probably going to be easily done. I like the fact that I got here by train. I'd like to use that aspect to take more trips, and because it's California and the whole state can technically be considered a tourist attraction, I am more inclined to take days off to venture to a nearby city just to have that day or two experience and go to the beach and get food and all of that. It'd be great. So I'm just rambling off at the gums, and I like eggs. I like eggs, and I can be very poetic and very artistic, but I generally just don't. And maybe one day I'll write another book. I never wrote a book, but maybe I will. So I'm just rambling. I got 30 seconds left. I gotta poop. Have a happy Wednesday. I'm gonna finish One Piece one of these days. I'm at like episode 530 out of like 1200. Yeah, that's a hell of a fucking accomplishment. Maybe I should make a video about all the anime I've seen. I have to write on a list. Pretty much a random anime guy, but I generally like all of it. I need a romance con.